Okay. Jeez. Technical issues. Sorry about that, folks. I had YouTube running in the background, and that's why you heard the overlapping stream intro. Uh, Deepest apologies for that. So I think we should be all straightened out. Desktop audio. All right, let's bring up speech chat. Okay. Bring that down. Shrink that a little bit. Oops. Okay, I think we are finally good to go. Let me just do my mic check real quick. Bring that down. All right, we're good to go. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay. We are back for some LeMans Ultimate. We got a new week of daily races. I wanted to go live yesterday, but Sunday night, the Oculus headset would not work on one of my PCs, and I thought it was isolated to just one PC. Well, it turns out that none of my PCs would connect with any of my Oculus headsets. And the next day, I go to their support page, which was totally useless, but navigating their support page, I was able to go to a forum and found out that this is a widespread problem and there was a workaround for it, and Meta was aware of it, and they finally got the VR back up and running. So I'm here today. So that's good. But to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what I got planned this week. So obviously I'm here right now, and then I want to talk about PC gaming before we get into a race. Later on this week, I would like to do another LeMans Ultimate stream, and well, it may not even be a LeMans Ultimate stream. It's something that I've done before, and it's something that I want to do again, where I want to build the cheapest foolproof PC, or the cheapest future-proof PC, meaning that I want to go through a pick list and build what I think would be the cheapest possible PC that I think you would never need to upgrade again. And then at some point, I guess, I'll probably do a Project Motor Racing stream. And as far as, putting it in a nutshell right now, as far as these updates, as far as the patch notes goes with Project Motor Racing, I think the only thing that really applies to me might be the tweaking of the track limits, because as far as performance goes, I never really had any problems with Project Motor Racing on any of my computers or my PlayStation 5. So, but we'll hopefully get to that later on this week. So the title of the stream is that I don't believe in this supposed PC gaming collapse. You would think that from some of the videos going around and people talking on Twitter or whatever the case may be, they act like the sky is falling for PC gaming, act like there's a dark cloud coming. And I just don't buy into any of that shit. I think it's fear mongering, and I don't know. Maybe I might possibly be feeding into it by talking about it. I don't know. But so I guess what got us to this point was a series of events, and starting with the RAM situation, where, at times it depends on who you listen to. One area is saying that there's a RAM shortage, and that's why the prices are going up, because the RAM manufacturers are basically focusing on selling RAM to AI data centers that's supposed to be going up, whatever the case may be. And then you have other ones saying, and I guess that coincides with the price of RAM skyrocketing. And as far as so I'll come back to that. And then the other thing that brought us to where we're at, the next thing that brought us to where we're at is Nvidia supposedly discontinuing the 5070 Ti and possibly the 5060. I mean, in a nutshell, I'm like, if they do it, so what? And then the third one that maybe decide to want to talk about this is Jeff Bezos basically coming out and saying something, I'm paraphrasing a little bit possibly, but saying something along the lines of people owning local hardware, their days are numbered, some kind of shit like that, cloud gaming is going to take over and that kind of shit. And all these things combined have got people, just in my opinion, I think they're trying to cash in on the panic and the negativity. Like I said, acting like, the bottom's falling out of PC gaming. And I don't think that shit is cool. I don't buy into any of this. PC gaming's not going anywhere. So starting with the RAM situation, yes, RAM has gone up. And I think in turn it's probably caused GPU prices to go up a little bit on the secondhand market, because the secondhand market reacts to retailers and manufacturers. So when retailers and manufacturers raise their price, you see a price increase on eBay. So the RAM situation, yes, RAM has gone up. And in some cases, it's outrageous. In some cases, I don't think it's as bad as people make it sound. And in some cases, RAM was never cheap. And using my PC that I'm right here, that I'm sitting at, for an example, it's got 32 gigs of DDR5. It's the G.Skill Trident. And that shit was expensive before this spike in RAM prices. Because the set that I got, I bought it off of eBay for $200. And I think when I looked up the retail, I think it was already like around $300 new. So something like the G.Skills, yeah, I expect those to go up quite a bit. But in any case, it's not as bad as, in some cases, it's not as bad as they make it sound. I mean, like, I think I went to eBay and I saw a RAM. It was some off-branded stuff. I forgot what it was called. It was like $280, 32 gigs, DDR5. I think at like might have been at like 6,000 hertz. My G.Skill RAM is at like 6,400 hertz, and I think you got to overclock it to get it to those speeds, because I think standard, I think standard without any tweaking, I think it runs at like 50. They run at 5,600 hertz. I'm not really sure, but in any case, $280, 32 gigs, a DDR5. I mean, when DDR5 was first introduced, this stuff was not cheap to begin with. So, yeah, I mean, the prices are going up. You don't go to Best Buy and you see this item is sold out, this item is sold out, this item is sold out. I think I talked about this before. I mentioned this before. YouTuber named VG Fight School mentioned that this is just one of those phases that PC gaming is going through, like with the 3000 cards, scalpers and crypto miners were buying up all those cards, and it caused the prices to skyrocket. And I mean, I got hit twice because of that. I think like when the 3080 first came out and the scalpers were getting a hold of them, they were selling them at like $3,000. I think they were selling the 3090 at like $4,000 or $5,000. And so, and then you had the crypto miners, you know, getting involved. And then I think when China banned crypto mining, now a whole bunch of cards started turning up on eBay, and I think that was a problem for Nvidia and AMD and shit like that, because now people can go get cards off of eBay, especially when the retailers are claiming that they're sold out. So yeah, I kind of got hit by that because my PC that's got a 3080 Ti that you guys heard me mention more times than I can count. I actually bought that card off of eBay. It retailed for $1,200. It's a 3080 Ti Founders Edition, and I paid $1,400 for it on eBay. And yeah, I took that chance and spent that amount of money. But I don't regret buying it because that 3080 Ti is still a very formidable card to this day. And then the second card I got scalped on was the 3070 Ti that I bought. It retailed the 3070 Ti Founders Edition. It retailed for $600.
How you been?
I bought it off of eBay for $650. Same deal. What up? East 00. What up, Lincoln? I'm doing good. And God, I hate these @names because I'm sure I forgot what your YouTube name is instead of this @crap that they started up. So yeah, I paid $650 for that. And over time, prices went back down. I think I agree with VG Fight School that I think that's eventually going to happen with the RAM, that I think the prices are going to go back down, because one thing you're not seeing is people say that there's a shortage. I mean, people might say that there's a shortage of it, but you go to these retailers, the Best Buy website and shit like that, is there. You can buy it. I don't see any shit like sold out. Not like when the 5,000 cars first came out.
My bad, it's me, Andrew Wilkins.
I haven't changed it yet.
I haven't changed it yet.
I didn't know people had an option to change it. I mean, some channels I go to, and yeah, when I go into the chat, it'll say Lincoln Clay VR, but it's all bunched together as one word, and some people don't recognize that. But other people, like, okay, I'll say the name, and they're like, hey, it's me, you know, Andrew Wilkins, like, shit. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I think YouTube broke something that didn't need to be fixed by doing that shit. Because I don't even know what they had. I don't even know how that benefits the end user by assigning them an @name that's totally different from what their actual YouTube name is. So I don't get it. Okay, so moving on to this next one. About Nvidia supposedly discontinuing the 5070 Ti and the 5060. It's like I said before, so what? I mean, my response to that is so what? It's going to be very short. So what? There's already tons of cars out there that's already out in the wild that you can buy secondhand. I mean, in fact, when I do that stream and we build a PC, you know, from a pick list, a lot of the parts that I'm going to suggest are going to be secondhand parts. So, I mean, you can't get a 5070 Ti, so what? In my opinion, go to eBay anyway and get a 3080 Ti, 4080, somewhere around that range anyway, because basically that's what a 5070 Ti is anyways. Basically like a 40, I think like a 4080 or a 4080 Ti equivalent. Now unfortunately those cards are still pretty high on the secondhand market. So yeah, I'll talk about that when we build this PC, whatever. So that's my response to that. And finally, the Jeff Bezos saying that gamers' days are numbered. You know, the days of them owning local hardware is numbered, because cloud gaming is going to take over. When you say something like that, I mean, and also he also has said that that he is hoping that people will give up their computers and rent one from him. So to me, he's trying to saying something like that. He hopes to take away something that you already have. And so, and I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know about shit about business. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a salesman or nothing like that. I'm just speaking as somebody on the outside looking in. I'm just speaking as a regular everyday consumer. And I think when it comes to consumer buying, I think there's 3 ways a company can try to get a person to buy their product or service. One, I think, is by choice, where you show them how good your product is and they will want to buy it. That's cut and dry. I think the second way that they would try to sell you a product, I think, is through manipulation. And through that, I mean, they might create a fake disease so they can sell you the cure. And I think case in point might be like the smartphone industry. I'm sure all of you, like, over the past 10 years, how many different smartphones have all of you had? And some of you might want the latest and greatest smartphone, the latest and greatest iPhone, whatever the case may be, fine.
Streamlabs.
Holy shit!
Streamlabs.
I gotta do my Obsidian Ali. We got a we got the $20 super chat from Cyber Dragon Super Chat, our gaming host, Lincoln Clay VR. Thank you so much, Cyber Dragon. I promise you, when you become monetized, I will return the kindness. Definitely appreciate it, my guy. So, you know what? Hey,
ain't no
there
stopping
you go.
this
Give
train.
you one of those.
Whoa!
Really appreciate it, my guy. Friend of the channel, Cyber Dragon. We go back to the roundtable days. I consider us still, official members of the roundtable. So I definitely pop in. He's on YouTube. So if you want to watch, check out some Assassin's Creed type games, definitely go check him out, because he's always streaming those. So tell him Lincoln sent you. Go check him out. And so I was talking about the 3 ways that I think they'll try to sell you something. One is by choice. The one that I was talking about was through manipulation, where they create a fake disease so they can sell you the cure. And the reason I was about to use smartphones as the example is I was saying that how many different smartphones have you guys owned in the last 10 years? I'm probably willing to bet at least 5. And some of you may have chosen to buy the latest iPhone so you can get the latest gadgets, whatever, the latest shiny new toy. But I'm willing to bet you that some of you bought a new smartphone because your current phone started malfunctioning, started not working right. I would buy phones, and within 2 years, I'm always getting notifications that not enough memory, some apps won't function properly, and whatever. And so now what I'm dealing with my current phone is every time I try to use Google Chrome and try to read articles and shit like that, I get an error message when it says, oh, snap, you know, yada, 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 click the reload button. It'll reload the page and I try to read it and then it'll crash again a few seconds later. So I think that was a concerted effort from all the phone providers. I believe they all came together and agreed that they would build their phones to fail within a couple of years to force you to buy a new one, because it doesn't seem to matter what brand or what phone you buy. It seems to fail within a couple of years and you have to upgrade. So the fake disease is they deliberately cause your phone to malfunction within a couple of years to the point where it becomes unbearable, and then you buy a new one. Now, I mean, in the past, when I would upgrade to new phones, I would buy the new phones, and then after I get done putting all my apps on there, within a couple of months, it's already warning me that I'm getting low on space. So, manipulation. They created a disease so they can sell you the cure. Lastly, the way that I think they'll try to sell you something is by force. And by force, I believe they intend to take away something that you have and force you to take what they're selling. So I think one example, it may not be a good example, but I think it could make my point that okay, so let's say Ford
At CyberDragon 1786
wants to make electric
said,
cars the norm.
You are
where
correct,
they
sir.
want everybody to
You are
own
correct.
electric cars. Well, if you wanna, you know, you're gonna sell it to some people, the environmentalists, the people that want new cars, whatever the case may be. Thank you, CyberDragon. Appreciate it. Ford may want everybody to own electric cars, but in order for that to happen, they have to find a way to take away the car that you currently have. Well, how are you going to do that? I think one way that they could try to do that is the dry up parts. They could stop manufacturing proprietary parts and get their partners to stop manufacturing third-party parts, but then they go out of business. And then even if you did something like that, you know, if I own a Ford and I can't get parts for the car, eventually I'll sell the shit and get a Chevy. So what you gonna do? Now you're gonna Ford's gonna run the Chevy and try to get them to stop manufacturing parts and so on and so on and so on. No, that's not gonna work. One other way that they
At
could try is to get the government
CR1MS0NB Hellet
to put in
said,
mandates
they
and
are already
regulations
doing that with cars. They are locking comfort features behind
to make it more
paywalls.
trouble than it's worth to even own the car. So for instance, so they're already doing that with the cars. They're locking comfort features behind paywalls. Yeah, I've seen that with BMW, where you got to pay a subscription in order to use the heated seats and shit like that, which is absolutely nuts. So, let's see how well that works. But I think I've also heard that some people have even bypassed that shit. So to continue making my point about the electric cars, okay, you're not going to be able to get people to switch up to an electric car by trying to dry up parts on their current cars. So the other thing that you could probably try to do is get the government to put in regulations, mandates, laws, and shit like that would make your current car more trouble than it's worth to own. Okay, maybe they tax it because it has a gas engine. They tax it because it burns oil. They tax it because it burns gas. They tax it because it has a catalytic converter. They tax it because it has a muffler. They tax it because it has a fuel pump. They tax it because it has an oil pump. You know, all those different taxes, something like that would make the car more trouble than it's worth owning because of all the taxes you would have to pay every year. So I don't even think that something like that would work. But it still goes to my point that in the case of Jeff Bezos, thinking that people owning their own hardware, their days are numbered because cloud gaming is going to take over. How you going to make them get rid of their computers? I've spent about all 4 of my computers here. I've easily spent, I think, I think I spent easily over $10,000 on all 4 of my PCs. There's no way you making me give these PCs up to do cloud gaming, especially this one that I'm sitting at right here. This one PC alone that I'm sitting at, I put over $4,000 into this PC. There's no way you're making me give this up for cloud gaming. Now, and so with Jeff Bezos saying something like, you know, we're trying to get you to give up your computer and rent one from me, or saying shit like, you know, their days are numbered of owning local hardware. To me, that almost sounds like a person that has a plan to try to take away what you have. How are you gonna there's millions, probably even billions of PCs out there. How are you gonna take that away and try to force them into cloud gaming? I think I mean, you can't physically take the hardware away from them, so you probably have to find a way to try to render the hardware useless. How are you going to do that? Like, what are you going to do? Pay Nvidia and AMD to send updates that will brick your GPU? Pay Intel and AMD to brick your CPUs? I mean, that wouldn't work
At
either.
CR1MS0NB
because
said,
if they try something like
they
that,
don't need
like
to take
in my
them
case,
away.
If they try to find
Just
a way
make
to break
them
my
incompatible
PC
with
and make
anything
it
new.
useless, I would just go back to consoles. I'd blow the dust off of my PS5 and my Xboxes. They don't need to take them away. Just make them compatible with anything new. So, yeah, I mean, that was, oh shit. That was one of the things that I thought that they might try. So, another thing that, you know, Jeff Bezos, another thing that he could probably try is see if he can get Nvidia, AMD, Microsoft charge you a subscription to use their services, because I think Nvidia already like throws a subscription at you where you can like get all the features of your GPU by paying a subscription. But I mean, why would these companies cut their own throat in order to help Amazon? That'd be crazy. So, cloud gaming, in my opinion, is not going to take over. This shit's been tried once with Stadia. I think with Stadia, they didn't try to force anything on you. Sure, they tried to say cloud gaming is the future.
At CR1MS0NB
they can stop them from connecting to the servers. You'd only have
stop them
what
from
you
connecting
own
to their
and
servers.
can run locally. No
you
online
would only
play.
have what you own and can run locally.
Yeah, and that crossed
No
my mind
online
too.
play.
But how's that going to make me get rid of my PC? Fuck online. I'll just play single player games, because now that's when people start diving into the backlog. So I just don't see this working. And I know I was in the middle of saying something. And because I know we're still on the subject of them trying to take away what you have. And I know I was in the middle of saying that no, he wouldn't be able to pay Microsoft and all them, you know, to put a subscription out there and shit like that. But what I was about to say was they've tried this shit once with Stadia, and with Stadia, they said cloud gaming is the future. When they say shit like that, in my opinion, that's the direction that they're going in, and they want you to go in that direction. So saying that cloud gaming is taking over for Jeff Bezos to say something like that, in my opinion, cloud gaming is not taking over. That's just something that he wants to get into. He wants you to get on board with it and trying to make it sound like it's going to happen whether you like it or not. Tantrum, how's it going? So no, like he tries to make it sound like cloud gaming is taking over.
CR1MS0NB
I'm just getting in, and I'm just
Everything
going with the
eventually
flow
dies out.
because this is what's going to
Vinyl
happen.
records,
No,
8-track
this is what
cassettes,
you want to sell
they
us
still
because this is
exist,
the direction
but there is
you
no
want
use
to go
case
in.
for them.
And like I said,
It will be the same with home
Google tried it
computers.
with Stadia. The shit didn't work. People wasn't ready for cloud gaming, the latency issues, and then with Google, they were still charging you full price even though you were streaming the game. So once you shut your internet off or you lose internet access, you lose everything you bought. So no, this cloud shit is just not going to fly. I mean, some people may opt for it, but to try to convert the entire user base, no, that shit just not going to work. So he said everything will eventually die out. Vinyl records, track cassettes, they still exist, but there's no use case for them. It will be the same with home computers. I vehemently disagree. I think the best that can probably happen is, like I said before, if like Nvidia and AMD and Microsoft all come together to make you pay a subscription to even use your computer. All right, it's running on Windows, so you got to pay $5 a month for Windows to even run your computer. Then you pay Nvidia, AMD another $5-10 a month to even use your GPUs. Something like that could happen, but to make you get rid of the physical hardware and just like toss it out on the street, no, that shit is just not going to happen. So, and even if where would you see a scenario where a gaming computer where there is a no use case for a gaming computer? Feeling like my computers would get outdated and eventually I'm going to have to get on board with cloud gaming, or eventually I'm going to have to do this, or I'm going to have to do that. I just don't see it.
Said, everyone used to have landline phones. The idea of making you pay to use a phone was unheard of.
So everyone used to have landline phones. Yeah, I'm 58
everyone
years
pays
old,
for their
so I
cell
definitely
phones.
know. I remember the old the dial where you had the 10 holes where you stick your finger in there and dial it. Yeah. The idea of making you use a payphone was unheard of. Look at today. Everybody pays for their cell phones. That's true, but it's still a phone. And even if they could make you get rid of your computer in favor of cloud gaming, you would still need a device in order to access the cloud. Whether you play it through your TV, whether they want to sell you a dongle to plug into your TV.
CR1MS0NB Hellet said, I meant no online access. The computer would be useful to a point, but
I meant
the majority
no
of gaming
access.
is done online.
The computer would be useful to a
if
point, but the majority of gaming is done online. If you use that compatibility, many will convert.
523 said,
many
if they
will
start
convert,
charging
but
for
will
me
the
to use my
majority
PC
convert?
in a subscription service, time for a new hobby.
That's the question.
I understand charging for Meta Plus or whatever.
What I'm reading into
my
what
hardware,
Jeff Bezos is saying is that he makes it sound like this is going to be an inevitable evolution and not choice. So I said, if they start charging me to use my PC in a subscription service, time for a new hobby. I understand charging for Meta Plus or whatever, but to use my hardware, I would think that
At CR1MS0NB Hellet.
gamers are sheep. The vast majority will do what the herd is doing.
Gamers are sheep.
FOMO.
The vast majority will do
maybe.
whatever the herd is doing. FOMO.
I think, to put you in a position where you have to pay a subscription to even use your computer, I think only to an extent, like Microsoft, AMD, and Nvidia, in my opinion, are the only ones that could try to impose a subscription, and a lot of people would have to bow down to it. But they would all have to come together and do it. Like Nvidia couldn't try to, if they try to mandate a subscription service on your GPU, everybody's gonna run to AMD. So the only way Nvidia could do something like that and make it work is to get AMD on board with them. They'd never be able to do that by themselves, while people still have a choice. And even Microsoft, if they tried something like that, people going to run to Linux. I mean, from what I'm understanding, like the Steam operating system is already a threat to Windows anyway, as far as gaming goes, from what I'm understanding. If I remember correctly, based on what I had heard, when the PS4 and the Xbox One first came out, remember when Microsoft tried the digital rights management shit? From some of the videos that I had seen, apparently Microsoft and Sony had a secret agreement that they were both going to imply the digital rights management at the same time. So basically gamers would have nowhere to run. Microsoft tries and be like, well, fuck you, I'm going to PlayStation. Then they go to PlayStation and find out PlayStation is doing the same thing. Now, when Don Matrick came out there and did what he did, and they saw that backlash from the videos that I was seeing,
Sony said,
Sony
Microsoft
never mentioned
Office,
that they were going the digital rights management route.
All used to be standalone
but
programs.
From what I'm understanding, it was
now
already
they all require
on the
yearly
PS4.
subscriptions.
But then
the standalone programs still exist, but they are no longer supported.
Digital right management shit, they quickly implemented a day one update. So when you plugged your PS4 up day one, there was a huge update, and that update was to remove the digital rights management. So and not only that, Sony double crossed Microsoft by backing out of the digital rights management shit, and then coming up with that little trailer of like, here's how you share a game with your friend, and had Shohei pass that game to a person. So Sony kind of double crossed Microsoft. They were supposed to go into this shit together, and when Sony saw the backlash, they not only did they back out, they double crossed them. So my point being is that if Jeff Bezos wants to try to find a way to take away the computer in your living room, he'll never be able to do it by himself. He will have to get entities to join in with him. Shit. Internet providers in your home, if you notice, a lot of them have the same rates. And I believe, like here in Michigan, Grand Rapids to be specific, where I live at, about 20 years ago, I think like the two major providers was Xfinity, which they were called Comcast at the time, and you had AT&T. And I believe that they operated in territories. I think Comcast had some parts of Grand Rapids, and AT&T had other parts of Grand Rapids. And then our governor at the time, Jennifer Graham, she signed a bill that allowed cable companies to set up anywhere so they can all compete with each other. So like before she signed that bill, if you wanted Comcast, you had to live on a certain part of town, or you had to live in a certain building that that Comcast serviced. So case in point, when I first moved here, I went to go get Comcast and it was unavailable here. Only AT&T was available here. So the first 2 or 3 years that I lived here, AT&T was the only internet provider that was available to this building. And then, I don't know, a couple years, like I said, a couple years after I moved here, when Comcast Xfinity became available, I got rid of the AT&T and switched over to Comcast Xfinity. So, but I believe that, but I noticed that when I had the option of switching over to Xfinity, their prices was about the same. Their speeds was about the same. So I believe that they had a secret meeting across behind closed doors that they would both charge the same rate. So so they're not undercutting each other and customers have nowhere to run.
CR1MS0NB
Like AT&T's
they
charging
won't physically take the
$150 a month.
computer
That's
away.
too much. Fuck you. I'm going
They'll
to
make
Comcast,
it so
or
you
I'm going
can't
to
join
Xfinity.
servers or
And then
use
you go
newer
over there and find out
programs.
that they're charging
It's forced compliance by limiting your access
$149.99
to
for the
what
same
others
shit.
have.
So coming back to cloud gaming, choice. People are not choosing to do the cloud gaming thing right now. Manipulation. At the moment, there is no fake disease where cloud gaming is the cure. Right now, there's nothing happening in gaming that is so fucked up where you feel like you're better off going the cloud gaming route. And third, force. And that sounds to me like that's what Jeff Bezos is thinking. He wants to try to find a way to force you to get rid of your PC. That, I think, is just going to blow up in their face. I think there's just some things you need to leave the shit alone where it's just not working. Like I said, we saw that Stadia failed. I think that, and I don't know what Amazon plans to do. I don't know what they think they're going to be able to do that Stadia wasn't able to do. So, I mean, how long ago was Stadia around? What? How long was Stadia? About 10 years ago? I think when it comes to computers, I think computers are, let's see here. I missed a couple of them. Let's see here. You said gamers are sheep, the vast majority, yada, yada. Microsoft
At
Office,
Trident 523
Adobe, all use
said,
standard programs. Now they
cloud
all require
gaming can
yearly
only work if you
subscriptions.
have
The
a good
standalone
internet
programs
network.
still exist, but they are no
And
longer
even
supported.
then, latency
They
and
won't
compression
physically
can
take the
still be
computer
a
away. They'll
problem.
make it so you can't join servers or use newer programs. Yeah, I got to that. And let's see here. It's forced compliance by limiting your access to what others have, which in a sense is taking away something that you have to try to force something else down your throat. That's force. So that goes back to one of my 3 categories, selling you something by
At
choice, by
Oak
manipulation, by force.
said,
And what we're saying
what's
here falls
going on,
into
Lincoln?
force.
How you holding up?
OG, what's going on? I'm doing pretty good. Cloud gaming can only work if you have a good internet network. Even then, latency and compression can still be a problem. That is also true. I mean, how long has the internet been around? The internet as we know it, how long has it been around? About 30 years? And when it comes to gaming, latency is still an issue. And even though we're in an age of digital distribution, we talked about, you mentioned about subscriptions where they put you in a position where you can't even use your PC unless you pay a subscription. Well, unless they put an update out that totally bricks the PC, you can still go into your backlog and play single player games there could still be other alternatives, like going back to console. Case in point, like right now, like Sony and Microsoft, even though they charge you for Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, you don't need them to play free-to-play online games. Like you, in the beginning, you had to have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live across the board to play any online game, but Sony forced the hand because they lifted the mandate for free-to-play games. So now when you buy a PS5, you do not need PlayStation Plus in order to play the free-to-play games. And because of that, a lot of people, I think, started migrating from Xbox over to PlayStation in order to play Fortnite and whatnot, because now you don't need a subscription. That forced Microsoft's hand. They had to drop the shit too. So now on Xbox, free-to-play games do not require Game Pass Core or Xbox Live, whichever you choose to call it. And I've already tested that theory. I've been playing Battlefield Redsec on both my PlayStation and my Xbox. I do not have any subscription service on my Xbox,
and the frame system.
And my PlayStation Plus membership expires February 3rd, and I have no intention of renewing it. So again, there's a choice right there. If they put me in a position where, you know, it costs me $5 just to turn on my fucking PC, then I'll go, then I'll jump on my PlayStation.
Said, it doesn't matter if it's PC or console.
It doesn't matter if it's PC or console.
They limit access to the game servers.
They limit the access to the game servers.
You are stuck with only what is physically on your hard drive.
You have on your hard drive.
Even some single-player games require
internet. That's true, but my whole point, it still goes back to my point that if one entity tries this, you can go in another direction. The only way this works is if they all join in and they all do it, so they corral you and you got nowhere to go. So yeah, in short, if Microsoft, Nvidia, or AMD would have tried something, I go to the PlayStation. If PlayStation tries some bullshit, I go to the Xbox. If Xbox tries some bullshit, I'll go to Nintendo. But the point is that unless all of them were to come together and they all do the same shit so that the consumer has nowhere to go, it's not going to work. So I get what you're saying, that they have the physical ability where they control what you play on your device.
At CR1MS0NB
Would Sony really take a chance like that?
You are not the target audience.
Where they restrict my console.
Kids today want to do what their friends are doing.
To the point where
they don't want to play single-player games.
I might decide it's a better choice to go in a different direction.
But the herd mentality is real.
Audience. Today, when you speak like Jeff Bezos does about the days of people owning local hardware are numbered, to me, you're not targeting an audience. To me, that's a dictatorship. You're telling everybody this is what is going to happen. That's not saying that kids are our target audience, or mature gamers are the target audience, or people who like to watch anime on their computers is the target audience. When you say something like that, VR, that means you're going after everybody, not a specific audience. That's a dictatorship. That's not going after a specific market or a genre. Kids today, so to finish reading your comment, you're not the target audience. Kids today want to do what their friends are doing. They don't want to play single player games. I agree with you, but the herd mentality is real. Yeah, the herd mentality. You're absolutely right about that, because I kind of made your point when I talked about how when Sony lifted the mandate of PlayStation Plus in order to play free-to-play games, and people started leaving their Xbox to go over to the PlayStation and play Fortnite because now they don't need PlayStation Plus anymore to play the game online. And then, and all their friends can, play together. But Microsoft saw what happened, and they lifted their mandate. And now because of crossplay, like a game like Fortnite, because of crossplay and because it's so available on so many different devices, you don't have to have a PlayStation just because all your friends have a PlayStation. It's choice. So just got a pre-built PC. So what's the specs of your pre-built PC? So, I mean, I agree with you about they don't want to play single player games. I got a shitload of single player games in my backlog, and I don't touch them because I'm always racing online because I want to race against live people. But I don't have a problem diving into my backlog and jumping into those single player games if
at
Microsoft,
CR1MS0
Nvidia, and AMD
NV
put me in a position where
said,
I have to pay a subscription
Bezos
just to
doesn't
even
have
boot
the
my
power
computer
to
up.
take away computers. He can control access though. Many people think buying stuff from Amazon is where they make their money.
Power to take away computers.
No, 70% of Amazon revenue is from AWS.
Many people think I'm buying stuff from
at
Amazon is where they make their
VR
money. No, 70% of
Amazon interruption
revenue is from AWS. He can control the access. But unless he has a monopoly, people can go other places. And to me, that takes me back to saying that if he was able to pull some sort of strings where somehow I boot up my computer and the only way I can play online is to go through him and pay his subscription service. Like I said, it's back to council.
At CR1MS0
what is he going to do?
Said, but he does have a monopoly.
He said, but he does have a monopoly. He's gone to court over it a couple of times. So it's still, we're kind of starting to spin the wheels here. But again, if he puts me in a position where I boot up my PC and I have to pay a subscription to his whatever other company he might have in order to use my PC, at that point I would go back to council. Now at the moment, Sony and Microsoft do not make you pay a subscription just to turn your Xbox on. They do make you pay to play online. If they put me in a position where I have to pay $5 a month or some shit like that just to turn on my PlayStation, and then it's the same way with PC, that's when I would totally leave gaming. 70% is not 100%. So even if it, so that means you still have an option. You may not have many, but you still have an option.
At CR1MS0NB Hellet.
But to me,
said,
that still
it's
falls
not the
into,
PC.
it could
It's
still
the
fall
access
into
to
the
internet
category
service.
of,
It wouldn't matter
of
if it's
either
a PC or
manipulation
console.
or force.
They all connect to the same
Where
internet node.
his intent is not to give you a product that will make you want to, sign up for his subscription. He's trying to create a situation to force you to go with his subscription. When Google tried the Stadia thing, they didn't try to force it on you. They didn't try to come up with some scheme to take away your computer and force you to Stadia. It gave you a choice. People didn't buy it. People wasn't on board with it. They didn't buy it. It went away. And to me, it sounds like Bezos does not intend to give you a product or service that will make you want to subscribe to it. It sounds like he has a plan to take away what you have to force you to come to him. But to me, I'm still holding on to what I'm saying, that I think it will not work as long as consumers have a window to jump out of or a back door to run out of. I mean, you'd have to put them in a complete cage where they have nowhere to go. And I think that the only way that would happen is to have a 100% monopoly or to get other entities to get on board and join you. If he walled off your PC and forced you to pay a subscription just to turn on your damn PC, do you think Sony wouldn't take advantage of that situation and tell you that, by coming over to the PlayStation, you won't have to pay that subscription
At
fee?
CR1MS0NB
They'll still
Hellet.
try to tell you about the
said,
freedoms and stuff that you
I
still
agree.
have?
I don't think it will happen anytime soon.
I agree. I don't
I'm
think it will
just
happen
saying it's
anytime soon. I'm
theoretically
just saying it's theoretically
People
possible.
will resist and
People
look for
will resist and look
alternatives.
for alternatives, but the herd is
The
lazy
herd
and
is
will prefer
lazy
the
and will
easiest
prefer the
road.
easiest road.
People will follow the herd. So in that case, there would be two forces. There would be the dictatorship or the rebellion. So if the rebellion wins out, then the horde will go that way. The herd will follow them. So, I mean, Bezos can try that, but there's definitely going to be some resistance. And if the resistance can stave off whatever his plan is, that's where the herd will go. And it's not even a guarantee that they will get on board with what he's trying to do. I mean, look what Stadia tried to do. Even though they try to give you a choice, they still try to,
At
as far as I'm concerned,
CR1MS0NB
I
Hellet.
still think they
said,
try to pay
not to go into
influencers
politics,
to
but
make
look at the US
Stadia
now.
seem like the hottest thing
That's
since
exactly
Sunburn to
what's
try to get
happening.
people to get on board with it. It just didn't work. The fact that you lose access to everything you bought when you lose your internet just was not going to fly. There's no way I was going to pay full price $60 for a game to stream it and deal with latency issues and they didn't have a physical box to give you. So I think you had to either use that dongle. I think they sold a dongle with it, or if you had a Google Ready TV, you could use that. Again, I think they tried to pay influencers to make it seem like Stadia was hot shit, and it just didn't work. Not to go into politics, but look at the US now. That's exactly what's happening. I think when it comes to the United States, they have forced a lot of things down our throats and try to make it seem like it's for the betterment of the American public. I'll give you some examples. I don't know, maybe about 30 years ago, the government made it mandatory for all cars to have catalytic converters. When they did that, the mechanics had a field day on everybody. They were raping everybody with the prices of a catalytic converter. The mechanics were they were killing people. Another thing that the government tried to force on us was like Freon. You go to a place like AutoZone and buy Freon so you can recharge the AC unit on your car. Well, the government implemented a mandate that you could not walk into AutoZone and purchase Freon unless you were certified to handle it. So that left you two choices. You either get certification so you can walk into the AutoZone and buy Freon, or you take it to a mechanic and have them charge your AC, which they started charging through the nose for that shit. You know, and I definitely don't like getting into politics, but I'm just agreeing with you that force under the guise of necessity has been the American way. If I'm not mistaken, you know, when Obama was president, and he forced health care on everybody. I mean, the way he lobbied it, he made it seem like if you can't afford health care, it can be provided free for you. And then I think when all was said and done, it was a situation where they made it mandatory for everyone to have health care, have insurance. And if you didn't have insurance, the government would put insurance on you and then fine you for not having insurance. Trump's with the tariffs. How much the tariffs have an effect on the economy, I really don't know. But we definitely know that everybody's using that as an excuse to drive their prices up.
At CR1MS0NB Helid said, you control a population by changing their normal. Dozens of examples in history.
You control
Once
a population by changing their normal.
Resistance lessens even if the same talking points are valid.
To me, changing their normal could be viewed as taking away something that they already had. Dozens of examples in history. Once something is normalized, the resistance lessens even if the same talking points are valid. Once something is normalized, if they intend to implement something that they know that the public will resist, they have to do it slowly. If they just up and flip the script, there will be an uprising. But if they do it slowly, this much at a time, 5 years from now, you suddenly realize you don't have the same rights that you had 5 years ago because they took it away from you slowly. but it still falls into the category of force. So in any case, so I think, we babbled on about that long enough. I think I'm about ready to get into a race or two. So to put a
At CR1MS0NB Hellet said,
absolutely takes away
means
something they
taking
once
away
had. That's the
something they
point.
once
Yeah, that
had.
still falls in. That
That's
still
the
falls
point.
into my three categories of trying to sell or have the public get on board with something. One is by choice, showing them that you have the best product or service. Manipulation, creating a fake disease so you can sell them your fake cure that you invented. Or force. You force them to take whatever it is you have, and in most cases, the best way to force them to take what you're putting in front of them is to try to take away what they already had. So I think we're on the same. I think we're kind of on the same page, but since we're delivering it differently, it may sound like we disagree. So whatever Bezos' plan is, I think it's going to have, if it's really going to work, it's probably going to have to happen slowly, and he's going to need help. I don't think he's going to be able to do it by himself. He's going to have to get other entities to get on board, so they can corral the public, they can corral the consumer and give them nowhere to go. So, all right, let's see what we got.
At CR1MS0NB Hellet said, I agree with you 100%. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
I can agree with that. I don't get into religion, but I can agree with that. In progress. Let's see here. Upcoming. What do we got? Jeez, we got a little bit of time before these ones come up. What do we got for weekly races? Starts January 20th. Is this driver swap? Next at 2200. That's at 10 o'clock. That's a 2-hour event. All right, this starts in 11 minutes. Let's do this one. And let's check the leaderboard though and see what is the preferred car. Looks like a mix. Let's see, out of the top 12 cars, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 BMWs. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 AMGs, 1, 2 Porsche, and 1 Corvette. So, all right. Wow, folks, I spent an hour and 15 minutes talking about this supposed black cloud that's coming to gaming. I really appreciate you guys hanging around and listening to it, and even giving your opinions. Definitely appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation. So despite these rising costs that you even see on the secondhand market, I still don't think that now's a bad time to build a PC, especially if you do it with secondhand parts. So again later on this week. Basically, I plan to show you guys. Basically, the computer that I have in there is a 3080 Ti. I've talked about this so many times that if you want to, what I think your minimum specs need to be in order to play most games, and what I think your minimum specs should be where you're covered across the board, where no matter what you play, the computer will be able to run it. And I think that computer that I have sitting in there is the cheapest barrier to entry in terms of building a computer where I think you'll never need to upgrade again. It has a 3080 Ti in it. The CPU is an Intel i9 12900K. It has 32 gigs of DDR5. I think the Corsair Vengeance Pro at like 6,000 hertz or whatever the case may be. 1,000-watt power supply. I think with secondhand parts, it would probably cost you probably in the neighborhood of 12 to 1,500 bucks to build that PC, but I think you'll never need to upgrade again. The 3080 Ti is still, in my opinion, is still an amazing card. It is a card that still punches above its weight and still can throw blows with other GPUs. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM, so it meets that supposed requirement of these new games. This supposedly requires 10, 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which I don't buy into that shit because, first of all, a lot of these games, they leave out so many small details. They don't look as good as games past, but yet they cost way more to develop. And then the other reason why I say that if you build this computer that I have in here, that you'll never need to upgrade again, Steam is the prime example why. I think in a Steam survey, 70% of Steam users have a PC with a 3070 or lower. As a developer, how much money would you be leaving on the table if you make a game where if you don't have at least 10 gigs of VRAM, it won't run? They would leave so much damn money on the table. If they made a game where you need like a 4080 or better to run the game. That's bullshit. So because of that alone, and Steam just broke one of their own records, I think 42 million concurrent users, you have to assume that 70% of those users, probably about 30 million of those concurrent users have a PC that's got a 3070 or lower in it. So, and then you have the Steam machine coming out. This got 8 gigs of VRAM. It's supposed to be the equivalent of a 3070 with 16 gigs of DDR5. All of my computers have 32 gigs. It's just that two of my computers have 32 gigs of DDR4. Two of my computers have 32 gigs of DDR5. So again, this computer that I'm proposing here, I think if you build this, you will never need to upgrade again. And I plan to break it down in, through secondhand parts and come up with an approximate number of what I would think
at CR1MS0NB said, remember the game crisis?
You need a NASA
you
computer
needed a NASA computer to run it when it was released.
To me, that see, by the time I got into PC gaming, the 2080 Ti was the most powerful card out there. And I had an Alienware that had a 2070 in it. And as far as VR goes, yeah, you did need a pretty powerful PC. That's not the case anymore. And that's another reason why when I talk about about this PC build when we do this. The reason why I say go with a 3080 Ti and you'll never need to upgrade again is because I'm factoring in this game right here that we're playing. I think right now, sim racing titles in VR are the most demanding games out there. And in order to get the smoothest performance, you have to run these games at a native 90 frames in VR. And in some cases, in order to achieve that, you have to make compromises on the other settings. You might have to turn down the graphical settings. You might have to turn down the resolution.
Said,
woof woof. What's good?
At Necrodogs.
We are doing well.
Said,
so
hope everyone's doing well.
When I say 3080 Ti or better, and you'll never need to upgrade again, I am also factoring in the VR aspect of it. That a 3080 Ti, if you build this exact PC that I have here, you'll be able to run any game in VR, even the super demanding Microsoft Flight Simulator in VR. You'll be able to run that. And but as far as I'm concerned, I think like a set of Corsa Competizione might be the most demanding game to run in VR. And a 3080 Ti with the specs that I have will run it.
At Necrodogs. Said,
nice to see your face for
once.
Nice
to see your face for once.
Yeah, we had quite the lengthy conversation. The race is getting ready to start here, and I haven't even had a chance to practice. Oh well. 25 car split. So at this moment, I'm looking to do 2 races and then probably hang it up, because honestly speaking, the main purpose of this stream was to talk about what's the word I'm looking for? The apocalypse of sim racing, PC gaming. The Holocaust, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if it does happen,
at CR1MS0NB
by the time it happens.
Said,
PC games tend to be a generation behind.
GPUs. VR titles tends to be a generation ahead.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Because back then, like especially when you had games like Medal of Honor in VR, again, at the time that game came out, the 2080 Ti was the most powerful GPU out. And that was the card that they recommended. Half-Life Alyx was another one. They recommended a 2080 Ti in order to run that game. So I ran these games on a 2070.
May I ask how old you are?
You are definitely right.
I'm 53. Been sim racing for 2 years.
Ahead of the hardware because you needed top-of-the-line hardware in order to run those games. But now, especially when you factor in that these developers are pulling games over to PC from Quest. They're basically porting Quest games over to PCs. So now you can damn near run like a pure VR game, like a game like Beat Saber. You could, I mean, you could run that shit on a digital watch now or whatever. May I ask how old you are? I'm 53, been sim racing for 2 years. I am 58. And racing games, I have played racing games in one shape or form ever since I was a kid. When I was a kid, my parents bought us the Tyco racetracks. There was a handheld game called Digital Derby. It was about this big. It had a small steering wheel on it, and that steering wheel you used it to weave through other cars. And then when video games started coming along, like the Atari 2600 and the Intellivision and shit like that, that's when my fascination with racing games really, like, that's where it was born. And so yeah, like when I was playing the Daytona 500 on the Sega Dreamcast, the Ridge Racer on the original PlayStation. Daytona 500 was on the Sega Saturn. And then like my passion for it went to the next level on the original Xbox when I was playing Forza Motorsports 2 and Project Gotham 2 on the original Xbox. So that's where the passion got to where it's at now. And then when the 360 came out, I was playing Project Gotham 3, Forza Motorsports 3. That was on the 360, and then over on the PS3, I was playing Gran Turismo and MotorStorm.
Said, similar to my story.
When PS4 came out, you know, naturally it was
At
GT
Big Rock
Sport.
18. Said,
And then on the Xbox
I'm a
One,
little
it was,
older.
Forza
I played
Motorsports
pole
8,
position at the arcade.
I'm a little older. I played pole position at the arcade. Oh, you know what? I used to play pole position at the arcades, and then at the time that game was hot,
at
my parents
Necrodogs,
bought us an Atari
said,
5200.
Never went to
with
console
pole position, and we had it set up in the basement. And it got to the point where my parents had to make me go to bed because I would stay up till midnight, 1 in the morning, playing pole position on the Atari 5200, even though I had to be at school in the morning. So yeah, I know all that stuff. So let me get the car set up. Never went to console though? See here, 1, 2, 3.
Checkered flag, B24.
Where are my gloves at?
That's the end of the session, B24.
All right, let's get ready. So you were saying you were a little bit older than me, and you played pole position at the arcade, and then
at Big Rock 18. Said, I had all of them, even the Neo Geo and the Jaguar.
So, if you had a fascination for racing games and stuff like that, maybe you were like me, where when I was a kid, you know, watching, like, I think back then NASCAR was called Winston Cup or something like that when I was a kid. So as a kid, it was a dream to grow up and become a race car driver. So when I discovered Drive Club
at Necrodogs, said, I started on the ZX80, ZX81, Spectrum, Amiga, and then went to PC from 1990.
Okay, we've got 4 minutes to settle up.
So
Your brakes are cold, take it easy.
You know, since it was a dream to be a race car driver when I was a kid, the dream came true when I played GT Sport on PSVR 2. The dream came true. The problem was, like, they had, actually it was Drive Club. Drive Club had the multiplayer, but it was so blurry, it was just horrible. Now, GT Sport looked a little bit better, but they didn't have multiplayer. All they had was time trials. So and that's what made me, that was one of the big things that made me go to PC, because there was way more multiplayer games on PC. So I bought an Oculus Rift CV1 and I played Project Cars 2 in VR. Just absolutely blew my mind. Like, the dream came true. driving a race car in VR. And that's another reason why I keep stressing about the minimum specs you would need
22nd place.
to sim race in VR.
Fastest lap for Brown, 1:14.07. That's 2 minutes left, 2 minutes. Your brake temps are good. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 3.
At Big Rock 18 said, "You know me as Mr. McCready, so you know I'm old bro, 60 years old, had dreams locked being a race car driver since I got my first go-kart."
Mr. McCready,
What's
how
the
you
new
doing?
fastest lap for Rodriguez? 1:13.76. You've got cold tyres, we need to get some heat into them. Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace.
At Oleandonsic 156 said, "Hi everyone, so good to see everyone."
Dan Sock, how's it going?
V12. That's the end of the session, V12.
Well, that's the end of that.
At Necrodogs said, "I like your positive vibe, mate.
Hey,
Keep it up."
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Now, when I had the discussion about the gaming situation, I don't exactly feel I was one. I don't really feel like I was positive. I just felt like I was just giving my honest opinion. But you know, switch back to about racing in VR. And I mentioned earlier this PC that I'm sitting at. It's got a 4090 in it. I spent over $4,000 building this computer. Hindsight is 2020. Where we are at right now with VR sim racing games, it's not going to get any better. Not because the technology can't advance, is because they can't run the risk of leaving the lower spec PCs behind. So that's why I was saying that you will never need more than a 3080 Ti in order to race in VR. Because if they put you in a position where you need a 5090 in order to race in VR, they would leave so
At
much shit on the
Holiandonsic
table.
156 said, 4Gs she worth every penny.
Oh yeah, 4Gs, yeah. It runs everything without a scratch, without even so much as a scratch. But my 3080 PC runs everything without having to work that hard either. So hindsight is 2020. The reason why I built the PC with a 4090 is because I felt I needed it for ACC in VR. But the 3080 Ti that I had ran it pretty good. The 4090, the only thing it did give me the ability to do was raise the resolution. Because both PCs ran the game at a native 90 frames per second.
Green. Car left. Clear left. Clear left. Clear left. Left clear left. Left clear left. On your left. You're in the middle. Clear right. Clear all round. Car left. Clear left. Right side's clear. On your right side's clear. Clear right, car, clear right. Yellow flag. The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 18 Celsius. We think that blue has crashed. Clear right, car right. Right side's clear. Car clear right. Sector 2 is now green, V15. Clear right.
At Holiandonsic 156
Stay between the lines, please, Clay.
said, damn blue crashed.
Oh shit!
Yellow flag, watch out. We think Hayes and Jeffrey have binned it. Sector 2 is yellow. The guy in front is Matty. It looks like Chris has binned it. Green flag in Sector 2. Sector 1 is green. Right, the guy ahead of us is Lane. P13.
At Canan007 said, I'm going to jump in the Bahrain Bronze Night race for the Sebring Gold tonight.
Sector 1 is
Both
now
look
green.
really
It
fun
looks
this
like
week.
Turkey's gone off.
Good
Clear
luck,
left.
good luck. Good luck to you.
Keep it within the track limits. Cold tyres all round. new fastest lap for Rodriguez, 1:14.28. P11. We've had a cut warning. Keep it tidy, please, Clay.
At Holiandonsic 156 said, I have zero interest in racing games but can watch you play whatever games all day.
Thank you.
I like watching you enjoy the race
Gap
and
to
stuff.
P12. Behind is
Easy.
now 0.18.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Come on, stay focused. Apexes and exits, apexes and exits. 15 minutes remaining, 15 minutes to go. Fastest lap for Glass, 1:14.18. That's a new fastest lap for Ryan, 1:13.94. The guy behind has just done a 1:14.30. The next car is on your right side's clear.
At Holiandonsic 156
Come on, Clay, don't let him get away.
said, I shouldn't say zero interest, I have some interest.
Well, if you don't have interest, it's cool. I mean, but I definitely appreciate you watching, though. No doubt about that.
Car in front is Chin, new fastest lap for Ryan, 1:13.84. Yellow flag, P12. We think Sven has spun off.
At Holiandonsic 156 said, in Grand Theft Auto I always enjoy racing around, I think I like sandbox style.
Yellow flag in sector 1, yellow flag in sector 2. Green flag in sector 3, it looks like brown has gone off. Sector 2 is green. The stewards have warned us for cutting the track. Keep it between the white lines. Green flag in sector 1. The leader has just done a 1:14.09. Fastest lap for Glass, 1:13.80. The guy ahead has just done a 1:14.03. P11. Alright, Clay, the next car is Arthur. You've got to watch these track limits. Jeffrey has retired from the race. The gap ahead is now 1.5. That's a new fastest lap for Chin, 113.74. Okay Clay, 10 minutes to go, that's 10 minutes left, we're halfway through. New fastest lap for Ryan, 113.57. Sector 1 is 0.8, off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.2 off the pace. You're 0.2 off the pace in Sector 3. Stewards have warned us about track limits. The gap to Arthur ahead is now 0.8. The next car is Chin. Yellow flag in Sector 1. Sector 1 is green. Glass is now leading.
Lap 114.98.
Okay Clay, the next car is Arthur. That was 115.04. Watch those track limits or we'll get a penalty. Clay. If you don't stop cutting, we will get a penalty. Five minutes remaining, 5 minutes left. Yellow flag, sector 1. Start taking these track limits seriously. Alright Clay, keep piling on the pressure, he'll make a mistake. Please watch the track limits.
Oh shit, I was so busy
Gap to
watching him.
P12. Behind is now 0.5. Sector 1 is clear. The driver in front of us is Brown. Clear right, push now, the guy behind is catching. P12. 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Shit.
Oh no, Clay, come on, track limit, car right, clear right. Rodriguez is now in the lead. 13th place. Yellow flag. The guy in front is Chris. Cut the track again, concentrate. One more to go. Oh, Clay, start taking these track limits seriously. Rodriguez has won the race.
He got hit with the stopping though.
V12, and that's the finish. Hard luck, mate. This was a tough one. Okay, pit stop requested.
I can live with that. 11th place. The problem was that I was a third ranked driver coming into this session, so I'm probably gonna lose rank for this. But nonetheless, I had fun. It was a clean race. At least for me, it was. So I don't know what everybody else has to say about this. But this race, the entire lobby has trusted drivers. And even the guy who overtook me, he waited. He didn't force it. He waited for me to go wide, then he took advantage of it. So good play. Nice, clean racing. Not the finish that I had hoped for, but I would rather come in last place for a clean race. Wait a minute, they redid this. So, you were expected to finish third. You gained driver rank. So basically, it looks like I broke even. All right, let's see what's next. So we'll take that.
Ain't no stopping this train. Whoa!
And I forgot to ask you guys when the session first started if you would be so kind to hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. All right, let's see what's next. Another one's 4 minutes. Damn, I do not like Coda. Oh my God, that's an interesting track. That is a 40-minute race, but I absolutely suck at Coda. You got P2s in there, but I think we're going to go ahead and do that because I don't want to do this race back to back. And so yeah, let's go ahead and do Coda. And let's go ahead and register. We're going to stick with the trusty Corvette. And in this one, I think I can use one of the setups that I bought. So we got 3 minutes. I'm going to take a quick second to have a drink. I will be right back. And we are back. Just a reminder, folks, about my lineup this week. I plan to do so when I do the live stream and we like do the build the PC costs, all that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do that by itself or do that and then we jump into LeMans Ultimate. I'm also gonna stream Project Motor Racing this week, and when I stream a Project Motor Racing, I think it's going to be time for us to have a serious talk about the state of Project Motor Racing, where it's at. Do I think it's in a good place or a bad place? Will it do good? Will it do bad? The launch, the recent update. I mean, I can pretty much tell you right out the gate that the recent update on Project Motor Racing, most of it does not affect me because like a lot of it, they're talking about performance issues. I probably say the one part that probably affects me is I guess they improved the radar. So now I guess it's more fluent and not so choppy. It's more fluent and more accurate. So that helps. Performance improvements, which again, the game runs good on all my hardware, on all my PCs and my PS5. The game runs good. And the track limits, track violations, I guess they tweaked that and put it in a position where all four wheels have to be outside of the limits in order for you to get a track warning, whatever the case may be. So that could affect me a little bit. But I guess we'll go over the patch notes and I'll just talk about, hey, this helps, this doesn't help, this doesn't do anything for me, whatever. And then, yeah, we'll talk about the state of Project Motor Racing. So, and a part of the reason why I haven't streamed it is because of the situation that I was going through for the past couple of weeks with the medical issue that I had. So, so this is going to be a 40-minute race, and depending on tire wear, well, not even tire wear, depending on fuel consumption, let me see, fuel consumption is ×2, so there probably will be at least one stop. I'll probably have to make at least one stop. I absolutely suck at this track. So I'm going to have to rely on a good strategy and staying clean. There's a couple of people in here with warning labels. So let's see here. Can I use a setup? Custom setup. Yes, I can. Load that, close, powertrain. We've got to change the fuel ratio. And change this to basic. Whoopsie, wrong glove. All right, so let's go Voltron Force.
That's the end of the session, P3.
Oh shit. I was about to drive through a red light. I would have gotten of well, the clock ran out anyway, but if you drive through that red light, you get to stop and go. So we've got 7 minutes. So it looks like they're giving you 8 tires. So depending on how this plays out, I might double stint the tires. So right there, that green light right there, if it's red, you have to wait right here until it turns green.
Your exit looks clear. Stay behind the line. We have 6 minutes to set a lap. We need to get some heat into these brakes.
Ooh.
Track temperature's rising. It's now 34 Celsius.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, Clay, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. Is a car leaving the pits? B13. Okay, Clay, you need to watch these track limits.
At CR1MS0NB Hellet said, never been a big fan of this track.
Car
Can
right,
never
right
seem to
side's
get a
clear.
rhythm.
The leader has just done a
Each section is so different.
209.07.
Yeah. I agree. Not one of my favorite tracks either, but I didn't want to do that Bahrain back to back.
Seventh position.
Fastest lap is a 209. I'm gonna get killed.
Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go. The guy ahead has just done a 214.49. The car behind's a faster class. Your front brakes are getting pretty hot. Sector 2 is 1.2, off the pace. Your tyres are cold, watch out. The leader's just done a 208.07. That's the end of the session. V14.
Lap 2, 13.70.
Well, so I come into this session rank 15th, and it looks like I qualified 10th. So that right there, right out the gate, is going to get me positive. It's going to get me positive rank right out the gate. All right, let's get the race setup going here. Race 1. Load. Close. Go to powertrain. See what the fuel ratio is. Okay, we good on the fuel ratio. Got new tires, got a full tank, and take it down to, there we go. I think we're ready. So let's look at the standings again, see if I'm still 10th. There are some P2s in here. This is a tricky track with some elevation changes in it. So keep it on the track, and we should be golden.
Ain't no stopping this train. Whoa!
Sorry about biting my nails, folks. Bad habit. I've had it since I was a kid. Can't break it.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
He said, wet tires are meta. Just open your air ducts. Oh my God. Somebody found an exploit in here. So 19 laps. So this race is 19 laps. So so we do 12
Formation
laps.
lap has started.
So 13 laps. So we would have, we did 12 laps. So we have to come in after 7. So we come in after 8 laps. So we come in at 8 laps.
Green, green, green. Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate. There's a big pile up in turn 1, car left, clear left. Or clear left. Clear left. Clear left. Nice start. Come on, Clay. Brooks has retired. Clear left.
Woo.
Clear left. Clear left. On clear right. Clear left. Green flag sector 1. Right side's clear. Car right. Clear right. Clear right. Cut clear right. place. Clear left. Incident in Sector 1. Sector 1 is yellow. It looks like Edward has binned it.
He's trying to force his way underneath. I don't like that.
Clear left. Okay, Clay. The next car is top right, yellow flag, sector 2. Clear right. We think that Hellman has crashed in turn 11.
That was huge. Those guys are probably going to catch me anyway, but it's still huge.
Clear left. The guy in front is Gill. Yellow flag, sector 3.
Come on, dude.
Green flag, sector 3.
These P2s spinning out all over the damn place.
Yellow flag in sector 1. We think that David has gone off in turn 1. P16, your brake temperatures are pretty high. The car in front of us is now Preston. Gap to P15 ahead is increasing. It's now 1.5 seconds. Green flag, sector 2. We think Nado has binned it in turn 8. Attention to track limits, please, Clay.
Lap 3.
We've got cold tyres, so we need to get some heat into them. Yellow flag in sector 3. We think Ortner has gone off in turn 18. Sector 3 is clear, green flag.
Oh, it's...
Yellow flag, caution.
I let these damn P2s spook me.
We can see Nado has gone off in turn 19. Green flag in sector 1. Sector 3 is green. Nado ahead is pitting.
That time was a 2.
P19. like the next car is Will. We'll be warned about track limits. The gap to Vino behind is now 1.6. Brown has just retired from the race. The car in front of us is Daniel.
That time was a 2:12.51.
Yellow flag sector 2. Sector 2 is clear. It looks like Almeida has stacked it in turn 9. Sector 1 is yellow. We think that Hellman has gone off in turn 6. Yellow flag, sector 2. We can see Pear has gone off in turn 6. Green flag, sector 1. Green flag, sector 2. Track limits, watch those lines. The gap to 18th. Ahead is now 1.1 seconds. There's a faster car behind. He's racing us for position. I don't think we'll get a blue flag. Yellow flag.
Ooh.
We think Preston has gone off in turn 19. Sector 3 is now clear. B18. Yellow flag. Green flag in sector 1. We think that Ortner has binned it. right. Nice one, mate. Well done, Clay. Car ahead is Count. The guy in front is DeLuca. Gone out of track limits, keep it between the lines. Keep digging, this isn't over yet. 14th. Yellow flag, watch out. We think pair has crashed in turn 3. Incident in sector 2, yellow flag. It looks like Enrico has binned it in turn 6. Green flag, sector 2, acknowledged, pit stop requested. Sector 1 is green. We think Dorlin has stacked it in turn 11. Alright Clay, we have no recorded pit timings. The exit position estimates are unreliable. Expect traffic when you come out. When we exit the pits we should be in P20, right with Daniel and DeLuca. Pit crew's ready. Incident in sector 1. Sector 1 is yellow. We think Johnson has gone off in turn 1. Incident in sector 3. Sector 3 is yellow.
16.26.
Vino, behind is pitting. You're all clear, stay behind the line. Sector 1 is clear. Brake temperatures look good. Incidents in sector 2, yellow flag. We think that Gill has gone off. Yellow flag, sector 1. Green flag in sector 2. Sector 1 is green. We can see Meister has gone off in turn 6. Sector 3 is clear, green flag. Sector 3 is now yellow. Gil, ahead is pitting.
Ooh, he got a drive-through.
Sector 1, yellow flag. Okay, Clay, there's a faster car approaching.
Lap 2:55.
17th place. Blue flag. Blue flag. There's a faster car behind. He's on our lap. We're not going to get a blue flag.
Idiot!
Incident in Sector 2. Sector 2 is yellow.
He saw that I had the inside
Green
line
flag,
and
sector
still
2.
tried to go up underneath.
That's 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes. Half distance. Focus on the exits. We can go faster here.
Unbelievably stupid.
Yellow flag. Looks like P4 has gone off in turn 11. Green flag in Sector 2. The gap to count behind is increasing. It's now 12 seconds. Hellman in front is pitting.
That time was a
15th place. Okay, Clay, the next car is Simon. You're reeling Simon in. The gap is 7.6 seconds. Cut the track. Keep it nice and tidy. Please, Clay. Yellow flag, sector 2. It looks like Nado has binned it in turn 9, sector 2 is green. Car left, clear left. The gap to P13 ahead is increasing, it's now 7.5. Faster class car behind. 15 minutes left. Relax, focus, keep it smooth. Blue flag. Clear left. E14. We've been warned about track limits.
Ah, shite.
We think P6 has binned it in turn 13. Sector 3 is green. Okay, Clay, you're reeling Simon in. The gap's now 7.7 seconds. The leader, Hop, is pitting.
Shit.
Alright Clay, you've had a bit of bodywork damage there. Yellow flag, sector 2. Green flag, sector 1. Green flag, sector 2. We think that Liber has gone off in turn 8. Reg is leading the race. So count behind is increasing. It's now 3.4. Is pitting from position 9. We think he'll come out just in front. Okay, Clay, we've just cut the track.
Oh shit, I was about to lose it again.
There's a car leaving the pit, mate.
Time to 29.91.
Incident in Sector 2, yellow flag. Sector 2 is clear. It looks like Dorlin has stacked it. Car in front of us is Daniel. Okay, Clay, there's a faster car approaching. You're reeling Daniel in. The gap is now 0.30. He's pretty slow into turn 1. Blue flag, just cut the track. Clear left. The guy ahead is Will. E14. Car on right side's clear. Yellow flag, caution. Green flag, sector 1. Sector 3 is yellow. We think P5 has binned it in. Turn 20. 12. 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. Yellow flag. Sector 1 is green. Yellow flag, sector 2. We can see Hellman has gone off in turn 7. Sector 2 is now green. Sector 3 is now clear. Vino is pitting from P21. We think he'll be close in front of you when he exits. Yellow flag. We think that Meister has gone off. Green flag, sector 3. Sector 1 is yellow. We think Simon has stacked it in, turn 5. Sector 1 is clear. Simon is now retired. Gap to 10th position. In front is now 1.3. P11. There's a faster car approaching. Blue flag. Clear left.
At Necrodogs said, I appreciate the fact that this man wears his VR headset as if it's a pair of sunglasses.
Hey, thank you.
Alright Clay, we've gone out of track limits. Keep it between the lines. Incident in sector 1, yellow flag. It looks like Dorlin has gone off in turn 6.
At Necrodogs said, driving like a boss at the moment.
Yeah,
How long is left?
About 3 minutes is left.
We've just had a warning for cutting the track.
I was trying too hard
Being
to
caught
catch
by the
that
faster
Porsche.
class cars. Yellow flag in sector 2. Yellow flag in sector 3. Green flag sector 2. Blue flag. Clear left. Green flag sector 3. It looks like Meister has gone off in turn 16. Faster car approaching. He's racing us for position. Don't expect a blue flag. Clear left. Bailey has taken the win. Okay, pit stop requested. P11. Okay, it's over. Well done, mate. Good finish.
I was trying too hard to catch that Porsche in front of me. Because the guy blocked us coming out of the pits. And then once his tires got warmed up, I just didn't have enough to overtake him. So, oh well. I mean, the GT3s, yeah, it got a little bit, it was a little bit dicey in the beginning.
Pit crew is ready.
More than anything, the P2s, those cars was absolutely reckless. All right, let's watch somebody.
At Necrodogs said, good result still.
Yeah, considering that I was expected to finish 15th, and I finished 11th, but I was trying to get into the top 10, and that's why I was trying so hard to catch that Porsche in front of me. Hopefully that's everybody. Nope, there's still a couple of more people out there dinking around. So it's going to take a couple of minutes for everybody to finish, and then I can go back and check, see what I got for rank, or see if I lost any rank. So let me see what the fastest lap was. So he did a 208.6. Right here, he did a 208.6. So yeah, he was about 3.5 seconds faster than me, and my fastest lap was a 211.8, and he did a 208. What was it? A 208.6. So yeah, he was 4 seconds faster than me. So yeah, that never looked good from the start. All right, let's see what we got for rank. 9:30. Ugh. Okay, so it shows you impact low. You B2 drivers with a low. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But it says you gain driver rank. Well, shit, I'm up to. I went up another notch though. Hold on, let me see that again. So I only went up one position. So career stats, I got 71 podiums. Holy shit. 61 fastest laps? I didn't know that. Holy shit. But how many races have I done? 491 races. Those are the ones that I finished. That, I think. No, okay, no, that's all of them. Because I got 90 DNFs. Holy shit. That's a lot of DNFs. I got about 1,000 hours into this game. Starts in 19 minutes, starts in 14 minutes. Damn, this is a 60-minute race. No, it ain't enough people in there for me to do that anyway. And P2s and P3s, I'm just not interested in driving those. $38 minutes. Oh, excuse me. I'm starting to wind down and my legs starting to get a little bit sore. So I think I'll get ready to hang it up right there. Tomorrow's Wednesday. So yeah, between tomorrow and Saturday, I plan to do 2 more streams. Again, another LeMans Ultimate stream and talk about building a PC, and a Project Motor Racing stream and talk about the state of Project Motor Racing. Let me see what the weekly race looks like. Oh, shit. Oh, I definitely got to do that race. GTE. God, they haven't included a GTE class in an endurance race in God knows how long. Oh, okay, so they're doing weekly races throughout the week with time slots. So they changed that up then. This event actually starts in 17 minutes. Damn, but the race is 100 minutes. Oh. Let's look at these time slots again. Okay, so tomorrow there's one at 4 o'clock. And then the next one's at 7 o'clock. And then on Thursday, looks like the same thing. Okay, so I don't have to do this race today. So we will shoot for tomorrow or Thursday, and we will do that weekly race. The event is 2 hours. So the race is 100 minutes. That's 1 hour and 40 minutes. Okay, so we will definitely do that race. And then that way, so I think what I'm going to do is shoot for doing that on Friday. We'll look to do that weekly race on Friday. So I'll look. So my next stream will probably be Project Motor Racing, which will be tomorrow or Thursday. We will do that weekly race on Friday. I absolutely have to do that because GTE's my favorite class. GTE. Matter of fact, before we get out of here, I'll actually do a couple of practice laps because I also use the Corvette in the GTEs. I love the Corvette GTE. And then possibly Saturday morning, I may do the weekly race on Race Room. But unfortunately, there's an issue with the aspect ratio of OBS here on this computer with Race Room, only with that game. So I may have to stream Race Room from my other PC, which is in my bedroom, and I won't be on camera. Because I think that's a little too much, having a camera in my bedroom when it looks like your bachelor type bedroom. So, but all right, we'll hang it up here. But let's do a couple of practice laps before we go. GTE, and there we go. The VR Vikings Corvette, courtesy of my teammate Henez Katoni. So yeah, we'll do a couple of laps and then we'll wrap it up just so I can get a feel for it because it's been a while. And then the GTEs do not have ABS. Do I have a car? Oh, custom setup. I could try this. You know what? Let's go with their Coach Dave setup first. All right, so before we head out here, I need another drink, so I will be right back. Let's go.
@BossBay said, hello.
How's it going? How are you doing?
There's a car behind. Stay inside the line. Blue flag. The brake temperatures are low. We need to get some heat into them.
Oh, damn. It's definitely been a while since I drove the GTEs because I just locked that wheel up easy.
Yellow flag, sector 2. Sector 2 is clear. The leader has just done a 146.00.
Damn! Oh, this is gonna be rough. I think I already got flat spots.
Incident in sector 3. Sector 3 is yellow. We think that Guru has crashed. Green flag in sector 3. Last. Come on, Clay. Just done it, 145.14. Sector 1 is 1.2 seconds off the pace. Yellow flag. Past the car behind.
@Necrodogs said, okay, I'm off to bed. Hope to catch you soon.
Yep.
Take care.
I'll
All waving head.
I'll definitely be back in a day or two. Thank you for dropping in, and have a good evening.
Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate.
Damn, already wore out that left front tire.
Time 148.71.
Sector 3 is 1.7 seconds off the pace.
So when I do this race, I might have to use the hard tires.
Just done a 143.00. Yellow flag. Sector 3 is clear. Sector 1 is 1.7 seconds off the pace.
Yep, I definitely got a flat spot.
We think Riviera has spun off. Sector 2 is now green. Green flag sector 1. We need to watch these track limits. Sector 3 is yellow.
With
It
these
looks like Collins
GTEs,
has binned it.
since they don't have ABS and it's really easy to lock up the wheels, you have to brake earlier and you cannot apply as much pressure. One of the reasons, there's two reasons why I'm locking up the wheels.
Okay,
One
Clay, 15 minutes left. That's
is-
15 minutes.
I haven't driven these cars in a while, and the other one is I had recalibrated my brakes,
2.
so it doesn't take much to. It doesn't
The guy
take
behind
much
has just
input.
done a 153.50. Yellow flag. Sector 1 is green. The leader has just done a 142.80. Sector 1 is 0.8, off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.5 off the pace. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Green flag in Sector 2. Okay, Clay, there's a faster class car approaching. Incident in Sector 2, yellow flag. We think that James has spun off. Green flag in Sector 2. Track limits, keep it within the lines. Yellow flag in Sector 1. Sector 1 is now green. Sector 2 is yellow. Blue flag. Yellow flag in Sector 1. Clear right. We can see Collins has binned it. Green flag in Sector 3. Green flag in Sector 1. It'll polish out, mate. Forget about it. That's the end of the session, P1.
They haven't used the GTEs in so long that I think a lot of people are gonna fly off the track, catch flat spots from locking up the wheels, what have you. So I think this might end up being a case where all I have to do is keep the car on the track and I should be fine. Okay, so that is absolutely going to do it for me. It is 10 o'clock Eastern time. Again, I will be back tomorrow or Thursday, more than likely with Project Motor Racing. Then I will be back again on LeMans Ultimate Friday, so I can do this weekly race, and possibly Race Room Saturday morning. But again, be warned, if I stream Race Room, I will have to do it from my other computer because there's an issue with Race Room and OBS on this PC. Just too long to explain. So if I do stream Race Room, it'll be from my other computer, which is in my bedroom, and I'll be on my other wheelbase, the Logitech wheelbase, and there won't be any cam. But so that is the plan for this week. Hope to see you all. And have a good evening. And we will see you.
Ain't no stopping this train. Whoa!
On the next one. Have a good night, everybody. Until then, or until the next one, you all know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king. And deuces. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you soon.